Good evening. Good evening. Okay, let's see. Everybody's in the house. Let's turn those cameras on, ladies. Welcome, welcome. I know there's some gents in here too. It's the third day of the Get Wealthy 5-day challenge. And come on in, come on in. If you've been here for all 3 days in the chat, let me know so that I can give you a shout out in the chat. If this is day 3, let me know this is day 3 for you. And I want you to know I'm glad that you're on this journey with me. Let me tell you, this is where the rubber meets the road. Day 3, Diane Stokes, Stephanie Rosu. Now, this is what's interesting. Is that many of the women in here are in WealthyU programs already. So that just shows you the level of excellence and the motivation that women have and are inspired to really do the things that they need to do to change their lives. Excellent. Michaeline is in, Angela Sanders, Paula Stout, is that Mamona? Excellent. Day 3. Love it, love it, love it. I'm excited because, of course, you know it's day 3 for me too. But listen, if you have been here for at least 2 days in the chat, let me know. I want to give you a shout out too if you've been here for 2 days, because here's the other thing I want you to know is that the replays are available and they're up every day. They're in the WealthyU community. For those of you who join the challenge, they're going to be up until Sunday. So I want to make sure that you take advantage of it. Phyllis here, it's her second day. Man, we got a lot of 3 days though. Althea, Fifi, awesome. Antoinette is your second day. So what I want you to know is that I'm so glad you're here. Even if it's your second day, I want to make sure you go to day 1. I'm going to go over the schedule, where we've been and where we're going in just a moment. And even for those of you who here is their first day, all replays are going to be available until Sunday. But here's the caveat. They're going to be available until Sunday. But for those of you who up level to VIP, you get benefits. You're getting prizes. And also those replays are available for 30 days for you so that you can drill down, because I know I cover a lot. Listen, in 5 days, what I am trying to give you is a real sense of what it feels to have mentorship and to be in a circle of like-minded people who are focused on accelerating their financial growth and generational wealth. And we had a great conversation in VIP tonight, just sharing different ideas and how to find the money, right? To find the fortune that you already have. And instead of making other people wealthy, learn how to turn that income into wealth. And what I want you to know is there's still time for you to level up into VIP. In VIP, you're getting coaching, you're getting resources, you get prizes every night. I'm going to announce our day 2 winner in just a moment. And those of you in VIP know is that you want to really, really engage, because that's how we're identifying the winners. In WealthyU, we call winners, we identify them because winners, they want it. They have a desire to achieve and to accelerate their financial growth. In the VIP room, you get 30 minutes with me to ask questions, to give feedback, to get insight, because I want you to experience again what it means to be mentored. How many of you, my question is, how many of you have had anyone actually mentor you, come alongside you and say, listen, if you do X, this is what you could get done? How many of you have actually had someone sit down and take a look at what opportunities you have in front of you, and are you leveraging it correctly? Any of you who are not in WealthyU, do you already have someone who's sitting beside you? If you don't, not yet, but that Gina says not yet, but that's going to change. That's the right attitude. Gina was our first day winner. I'm telling you, the conversation is different, and we know winners. We know how to pick them. We know who is any of you. So if you don't have a mentor right now, in the chat, put, I need a mentor. I need a mentor. I need somebody to mentor me. That I shared with you guys. Felicia says I need a mentor, right? I shared with you guys that the knowledge of how to build wealth, that is inherited. Rhonda said, I need a mentor. Michelle, I've been looking for someone for 20 years. I need a mentor. Vanessa says, I need a mentor. Angela says, yes, I need a mentor. Charnay says, I need a mentor. Well, here's what I want you to know. That sometimes, myself included, I had to invest in a mentor, right? And it wasn't until I invested in that mentor till I was able to create what you see now as that WealthyU. You know, as I think, who was it? It was Rhonda who shared with you, you know, my history, right? Like, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. And it took me a while to begin to figure out, what can I do to impact more women in a scalable way. So who wouldn't mind going back down memory lane with me? Anybody want to go to memories lane with me? Just for a minute. Check this out. To take a leading role in your finances. In the chat, can you guys hear this? First of your Deborah Owen, she wrote it. She's a mastermind behind this easy guide, and she's here now. Women often get started later. We take care of everyone else, and we don't put anything into our purse. Look at your neighbor and tell her, I will pay her. Yes.
Author and wealth coach Deborah Owens uses powerful personal stories, humor, and the purse to show women how to manage their money.
I often hear women say, well, I don't do numbers. Well, the fact of the matter is we are responsible for 90% of the buying decisions in households.
What I believe is each one of you in this room has the power. And so I am calling on you to take action.
Growth often comes disguised as adversity, when in fact, it is a gift that's being given to you so that you can grow. Problems are opportunities. And what I want our viewers to understand is you don't need to react to short-term volatility.
I'm really looking forward to hearing what Deborah has to say.
My advice to Neville, start investing in that SEP IRA now. We need to shift, Roland. We need to shift from what I call this income mindset to a wealth mindset. And what that means is focusing on our personal balance sheet and making sure that our net worth is going up.
So if there is anyone sitting in this audience who believes I'm not smart enough, I don't have any money, kick all those doubts to the side.
I think truly the goal for every woman should be financial freedom. And that's when I don't have to work because my money is working for me.
All of you sitting in this room have the ability to create the wealth and to achieve financial freedom. You simply have to decide.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey. And I'm telling you, those hairstyles kind of show you. Made some different moves, right? So all you have to do is decide. And the reason I love going down memory lane, because it also gives me an opportunity to reflect on the journey. And what I want all of you to know is that we all need, here's what I want you to know. You can measure a person's success by their ability to get help. How many of you have been sitting here thinking that you've got to figure it all out on your own, right? You got to figure it all out on your own, and that, if you just work hard, that you'll figure it out. What I want you to know is that what is happening is that your other most valuable asset is a limited resource. And what do you think that is? What is that other valuable asset that is a limited resource? In the chat, let me see if you know what it is. That's right, time. Time. Your most valuable asset is time, and the one thing that will make the greatest impact over your life and your ability to be financially successful and build wealth is the time value of money. Listen, can I be frank with y'all? Some of y'all are running out of time. And one of the things that I've learned, if I want to compress time, that I can invest for speed. Here's what I want you to know is that money loves speed. It's something that I had to learn. Money loves speed. Money loves execution. And sometimes where you were like me, you see, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I've been in this game for 20 years. But what I had to understand was that if I was going to make more impact, that I was going to have to invest. I was going to have to invest in talent. I was going to have to invest in mentors. I was going to have to invest in infrastructure. It couldn't just be little old me doing everything. I was going to have to pay folks. I was going to have to incentivize them. And what I want you to understand is that these doors are opening, right? These doors will be opening. And if you need a mentor, then what I need you to do is apply. I need you to apply to WealthyU programs. I want to applaud those of you who applied, because one of the reasons we want you to apply is because we want to see if you are a good fit for one of our programs. And if you are, then we're going to get you an opportunity so that you can accelerate your financial growth, so that you can stop thinking about it and start being about it, so that you can become one of the winning women that you see over and over again in WealthyU, so that you can become an ambassador, just like our ambassadors that you're seeing here. You see them, they're all in the screens, and they're identified as WealthyU ambassadors. They've been connecting. They've been wanting to connect with you, reaching out to you. One of the benefits, if you are in VIP, is that you get to have a call with them so that you can get a sense, and they can give you a sense of what you can do in order to accelerate your financial growth, because they were sitting right where you were. And then once you apply and come into WealthyU programs, you're going to have a member success advisor. We're a little different than a lot. We are not a course, right? Where you're going to say, okay, you go on this little thing and you look at the little videos and you figure it out. No, we have structured a very robust, excellent program for you. So in the chat, I want you to apply. Listen, you can't win if you don't play. So I want to invite you in. Let's make sure that we put the link in the chat, ladies, and that we have folks apply. So who's ready to get into the second day of the 5-day Get Wealthy Challenge. Okay, let's get into it then. Well, before a couple of things, because we know there's some of you are just joining us, I want to just walk you through our schedule. On day one, Monday, we went through Wealth Secret number 1. And that was really sharing with you the secrets of the wealthy, the wealthy that I discovered as I went on in my career. I shared with you, I didn't come from wealth, but I went on and had a pretty fast trajectory in a financial services organization. And that's when I discovered that the wealth blueprint we were given is totally opposite from what the wealthy were given. And day 2, yesterday, we talked about how the wealthy manage their money. I want to know how you were impacted by that. And I shared with you how the wealthy manage their money, and they turn their income into wealth, and then they invest it, right? And so one of the things you were supposed to do is you were supposed to look through your spending patterns and do a makeover and find the additional money that you've been investing in everybody else. Now, guess what you're going to do? You're going to take that money and you're going to turn it into wealth. I talked about the strategy, right? And then day 3, it's the most fundamental thing that you're going to learn tonight that will impact your success. And that's your ability to turn other people's fears into your fortune. Thursday, we're going to talk about secret number 4, and that's how to accelerate your financial growth, right? Accelerate your financial growth. Many of you would be much further ahead. Some of you would already be millionaires if you knew the insight that I'm going to share with you on Thursday. And then on Friday, you're going to meet some women who've applied these principles, and now they are accelerating their growth to their first 6 and first 7 figures. In the chat, who is ready to accelerate their financial growth and achieve their first 6 figures, their first 7 figures, and beyond? Who's ready? Felicia says, I'm ready. Cretia says, I'm ready. Angela says, I'm ready. 7 figures. Rhonda says, I'm ready. I'm ready. So I also want to ask you, who's running in the chat? Let me know who's running for their first 6 figures, right? If you're running for your first 6 figures in the chat, okay, Erica says, I'm running for my first 6 figures. Awesome. I want to see who's running for their first six figures. I mean, because what I want you to know is that that's what you're going to learn in WealthyU, right? That's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to do that. What I know is many of you would already be past that first six figures. That's the first milestone, right? Now, who in here is already at 6 figures and they're ready to accelerate to 7 figures? If you're running, okay, so Michelle says, I'm running for 6 figures. Okay, who's running for 7 figures? Gina says, I'm running for 7. Angela says, I'm ready for 7. Linda says, I'm ready for 7. Who's ready to learn how to do that? Okay, running for 7. Okay, so here's what I want to share with you guys. So I've been sharing with you the wealth secrets of the 1%. On Monday, I went through mindset. Yesterday, I went through strategy, and that strategy was shifting from an income to a wealth mindset, and also shifting your spending patterns from an income to a wealth mindset, right? Today, I want to talk about, just for a moment, secret number 3. And I want to share with you how I discovered this secret. It was very early on. You know, I shared with you that I started my career with Merrill Lynch. You know, I'm working hard in retail, and then I get this opportunity and land in this Merrill Lynch office, right? So I'm I'm in awe, you guys, like the phones are ringing. I'm learning how to give quotes. Ford, GM, Procter and Gamble, Chrysler. These were all the companies that many of the investors in Merrill Lynch were investing in, right? And so I started out as the receptionist, and then very shortly after that, I got my securities license, right? And I became a registered sales assistant. And then I had sort of 3 account executives that I worked for. And, then Black Monday happens, right? Black Monday is when the stock market dropped literally 20% in one day. And imagine, I'm just starting in this thing. I don't know what's happening. These people are running in, they're like, sell, sell, sell. It wasn't like they could put a trade in on the computer. They either had to call us and we write a ticket, and that ticket would go through a pneumatic tube. You guys, have you ever been through the bank, right? You go through the bank. Back in the day, you went through the bank and you put your little checks up in that drive-through and pneumatic tubes. In the chat, if you know what I'm talking about, say, I know what you're talking about. Yes, I got it. I remember, right? So we had these pneumatic tubes and the tickets would go in there. And so, once I became a registered sales assistant, then I could write those tickets. And so there are tickets everywhere. And so then we'd have to manually put them in a ledger in the book. And so all day, I'm telling you, and people were frantic. They were like, I'm losing my money. I'm losing my money. I'm like, whoo, what have I got myself into? I don't know. This might not be cracked up. Maybe, maybe you don't need to be investing in stock if you could lose, used in the hospitals also. That's right, Fifi. So, I'm thinking, what is going on? And, sell, 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 sell. We're wondering if in fact, they stopped trading at some point, right? So, we're late into the night. It's 6 or 7. And then I see these people coming in, right? And all of our top brokers, you know how it is in the hierarchy, like the little people, they work in the little cubicles. But the big private bankers with the largest clients, they're in the offices with the windows, right? They have the window offices. So anyhow, Mr. and Mrs. Joan and Cavender and whatever, they're sitting there waiting. They have an appointment. And so they go back into the office and they're talking to their private banker about the portfolios, and they're making adjustments. And all I'm thinking to myself is, how are we going to be able to put more tickets in and more sales for in the morning? Well, then all of a sudden, his tickets start coming in through the pneumatic tubes. And I go into the operations room in the back and I look. And what do you think those tickets were? Were they buy orders or were they sell orders? In the chat, let me, what do you think they were? Were they buy orders or were they sell orders? That's right. They were buy orders. And so, I'm really new to this, right? I'm not true to this yet. I'm new to this. And so then I began to think, wow, all of those other people were running in here selling, but the really wealthy people were buying. What was the lesson in that, y'all? In the chat, let me see if you know. What's the lesson? Buy low. People make money both ways. What else? Here's what I want you to know, is that the wealth mindset views problems as opportunities. Literally, you need disruption. Wealthy people do the opposite. That's right. In the downturn, don't sell. Any market is a good market for some. Be greedy when others are fearful and vice versa. Be ready. Opportunities, but buy when most people are panicking, selling. Buy when the market goes down. Wealthy know what others don't know. Wealthy understand opportunity. That's exactly right. So I take your attention to the chart. And this is something we do a lot of in WealthyU, okay? Because I need to bring receipts. I need you to understand is that when we're in a bull market, like we've been, for about the past 8 years, it's not that we didn't have some downturns, but this is when people are all optimistic and they become overconfident, right? And this is when people are buying, most people. And then when it does this, they regretting, I'm gonna lose my money. I just want you to think back to your own portfolios in 2008 or your 401ks, or just recently in COVID when the market went down more than 30%, fear and panic. In fact, one of the reasons I launched the WealthyU Society program was because all of the coaching that I had done and shared with people and what they needed to do here, and then already told them, listen, problems are opportunities. You know the wealth mindset. This is when it's the greatest opportunity for gain. I want you guys to get this. Fundamentally, this is the secret of the 1%. Is that they understand that you need disruption to create opportunity. That in disruption, the human condition is one in when they respond to fear. And so when people respond to fear and there is more sellers in a market than there are buyers, what happens to prices? When more people are selling, right, than buying, what happens to prices? In the chat. I want to make sure you guys are paying attention. And again, wealth is a contact spark. No, when more people are selling than buying, it goes down. You're absolutely right, right? Now, so what happens if people are selling everything? If people are selling, and even if things are still valuable, what happens to their prices anyway? Prices fall. And I want you guys to get this. Sometimes people say, oh, the market's down, stocks are on sale. But not all stocks, okay? So here's what I want you to understand. And this is what I discerned very, very early on. And this is what I walked away from that day reflecting on. I looked at all the people that were selling, and some of them were selling some very speculative stocks like at the time, LSI Logic, C-Tech, Gate Technologies. These were the early semiconductor companies, right? But they were also selling some, Procter and Gamble, some blue chips. So when I started seeing those buy orders come over in that pneumatic tubes, what kind of stocks was I seeing? Anybody want to guess? What were the wealthy people buying? What were the wealthy people buying? Medical, software, blue chip. Here's what I want you to understand. This is good. Lower price stocks, home goods, blue chip, long-term stocks. Ross says, listen. See, a lot of y'all already are WealthyU. Y'all, we've been knew that, right? Listen, this is what they were buying. The same places you're spending your money with, AT&T, IBM, Altria, Exxon, Truist. These are the top dividend paying stocks. They were buying those companies, these types of companies, because those stocks had went down and now they could buy them at very low prices. That's a good question. I'm going to explain that to you just a second, Vaughn. How many of you play poker? Any poker players in the house? What is the most valuable chip? What color is it? Okay, for those of you who do play poker, the most valuable chip is blue. And that's where the term blue chip comes from. So let's talk about what a blue chip company is. One of the things that our Legacy Wealth Accelerator program, they're actually building a blue chip or dividend aristocrat portfolio. Blue chips are basically companies who have, sometimes they're considered a moat, but have paid dividends or profits for to their shareholders for over 25 years. When we think about blue chip, though, companies, what we're really looking at are companies who are sort of staples. They're have-tos, right? Like you have to wash your clothes, right? Like who makes that? Who's the company that their biggest product is detergent? Anybody want to guess? Who's that company? P&G, Tide, right? Who's that company that you wash dishes with, right? Who is the name brand that has like probably, I don't know, 56% Colgate Palmolive? That's right, right? And Procter & Gamble makes Dawn. So the point that I'm making, the reason why I think this is so important in my aha moment, I want to pull this all together, right? Like yesterday, I had you go through your spending. And the reason why I wanted you to go through your spending is I really want you to kind of begin to now look at it from this lens. Where are your major expenses with groceries, right? You're going to the grocery store, you're going to Walgreens, you're going to Target, and you're buying a lot of these products. And what I saw, the secret that I found out was not only did wealthy people look at problems as opportunities, but that they were very discerning in the types of companies they bought in market downturns. I want you guys to get this. And so one of the things you have to learn how to do that we were never taught is how to be discerning and how to actually analyze and research the investments that are in your 401ks. What are the mutual funds that you're investing in? And do they have these high quality stocks in them that stand the test of time? How many of you even know that, right? So secret number one was shifting from an income into a wealth mindset and turning your income into wealth. But that means now secret number two, okay, is how do I manage my cash flow so that I have more so that I can invest? And then secret number three is how do I learn how to now take my money and invest it in companies that are going to allow my money to grow faster? That's what the wealthy know that most of us don't. Now, why is this important? Why is this important? Because that's why I want you to apply to WealthyU. because that's exactly what you're going to learn. And do you want to know what, if this is making sense to you, type yes in the chat. It's making sense. Like what should be happening to you, all of you right now, is that a light bulb should be going off in your head. And you should be saying, oh my goodness, you mean this is what I've been missing? That you've been standing 10 feet away from gold, but because you never learn how to invest, because you've been in an income mindset and not a wealth mindset, how many of you never even realized that you had the ability to invest in these companies? How many of you never even thought you had access to it, right? Why? Because no one ever told you you could. No one ever showed you how to. The most important thing that you needed to learn, you were never taught in your formal education. And so what I want you to understand is it's not your fault. All right? Can we just lay it all on the floor and say, it is not your fault? In the chat, say, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Can I go deeper? Who wants me to go deeper? You want to know another secret I discovered? Is that many of you have been asking for help. You've been calling these companies. You've reached out. In the chat, how many of you have actually reached out and no one would help you? Right? Like, here's what I want you to know. I didn't realize that was happening. And if you were here yesterday, I don't remember. Rhonda, were you in VIP? Rhonda, you may have been in VIP, and she shared. Miss Owens, I saw you in God's Leading Ladies back in the day. You guys just saw that little video of me. What was it? You have everything I think I was saying that even then. You have everything you need to be everything you need to be. But anyway, me, EAP, and No Help Really, my advisor, will reach out just to meet a quota one time a year. That's exactly right. Here's what I want you to know and what I didn't know, and exactly why I created WealthyU. Because many of you are going in these organizations, you're asking for help, and they're not giving you the time of day. And the reason they're not giving you the time of day is because you don't have $1 million in assets for them to give you a time of day. You can't get an appointment like the wealthy people that I met when they came in the door, and they were able to go with their little private banker with his glass windows, and they're able to get access to syndicate deals when companies go public, and when you don't even get access. You guys understand what I'm saying? Rhonda says, I was discouraged, so my money sat. That's exactly right. And that's the point that I want to make, is the most important element that you need to be successful is you need time, and you need to get started. So who's ready to see how someone was sitting there just like you, and applied what she learned and turned it all around? Y'all ready to see this? Watch the tape.
I went to college, had participated in a number of certification programs, and continued to further in my education, but financial literacy really wasn't a mainstay. I didn't have the background, the financial wherewithal, and certainly not in investing. My viewpoint was limited. And then as I started to invest, it was really just around the 401k. I thought that if I got enough money to really look at investment more, even though I know that I'm intelligent, I felt like That was an area that was for someone else to really help inform me, but not something that I would take on and learn myself and manage myself. It kind of directed you in a path, but with limited scope, limited knowledge or information. I missed opportunities to really maximize my investments and make more. One of the biggest shifts for me was that I was capable of understanding everything that I needed to know in order to be a smart investor, in order to make better decisions that actually allowed me to see benefit. And I think that that was part of it as well. Not that I just relied on someone else, but that these were decisions that I was making for my financial well-being, my financial future, and that of future generations. We went from just looking at the retirement funds, because that's where all my money was at the time, to then having conversations about stock. And, you know, there's a little hesitance because what you don't know, you tend to fear or reject. You made that understanding simple. And I think that was huge in terms of making the mindset shift that I needed. I made the shift in terms of where my money was allocated, both what was already invested and future investment. And then I watched within the first quarter, I saw a huge shift in terms of my return. I know that has some to do with what was happening in the market at the time. But some of that shift was really about putting my money in places that were doing better.
Putting my money in places that were doing better. That is the question. How many of you feel like Dia, who felt like, oh, well, how many of you have gotten an education and unfortunately felt like this was too difficult, or this was out of reach, or is something that you can't do? What I want you to know is, and she said it, if you want your money to grow, if you want something different, you've got to do things differently, right? How many of you right now are sitting in investments that are not growing? So here's the question I have for all of you. Portia says, me, if I knew I could have been at 7 figures years ago. And that's what I want all of you to understand, is that most of you would already be at your $500,000, your 7 figures, right? Had you known the knowledge that I've been sharing with you in these next 3 days. So I have in these past 3 days, and what we're still on this journey, and you're going to learn more, right? So based on what you've learned in these past 3 days, in the chat, tell me, what is the one thing, your biggest takeaway from what you've been learning for the first 3 seekers that I've shared with you? In the chat, let me know. What is your biggest takeaway? What secret have I revealed that you know, and you know that if you had known it earlier, could have made a big difference? Okay, time, that's right. You have to be strategic and intentional. That's exactly right. Felicia, I need access and I found it. That's right. Making calculated risk. That's right. Fifi says, I could have been at 7 figures. I'm reviewing my 401k and looking at the companies they're investing in. Angela says, be intentional about where my money goes. Need mentors to teach. Portia says, shifting my mindset. Lisa says, execution is key. That's right. You get what you put in. Strategy and execution, Anna says. Growth mindset. Finding money. Being wasted to move to profit. That's right. Making the shift. Simone, proximity to the right persons. That's right. Stephanie says, apply to our programs, y'all. I learned I needed to be with WealthyU. That's right, Charlotte. Charlotte, you've been hanging with us a minute now. Rhonda said that I had access. I always thought investing was for the rich. That's right, Rhonda. Investing is how you get rich. Michelin, invest in the companies that allow your money to grow faster. All right, can I have a conversation with y'all tonight? Listen, for those of you who've been with us 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, what would it feel like, right? Like, what would it feel like for you to be around a group of people that are going higher, that are every week we're talking about what's the stock of the week? We're talking about, oh, did you see who was it? I think it was Alice just posted about a company. I just posted about Louis Vuitton having its best year ever, even with a recession. How would it feel? You've been with us 3 days. How would it feel to have this feeling every day? How would it feel for you to be able to go online and you got a group of people, a group of sisters who are here, and the conversation is different? How would that feel? But also, how would it feel for you to have the ability to share what you have and for someone to give you insight on exactly what you need to do to cut the time that it takes from the 20 years that you've been struggling to get to where you are right now, to see that thing accelerate over time and help you get further faster. Who's ready to get further faster? In the chat, if you're ready to get further if you're ready to get further faster, put accelerate. I want you to put accelerate, because that's what happens with in WealthyU. WealthyU is a wealth accelerator. We take what you have and we help you get further faster. We're an accelerator. What I want you to already know is that you have everything you need to be everything you need to be, but you know what else you need? What else do you think you need? You need the key to unlock the door, right? You need the code. You need that 1% code, right? You need the code of the 1%ers. And so I want you to know that tomorrow I'm going to share with you what that code is. I'm going to share with you exactly the process that our members go through in order to accelerate their financial growth. What I want you to know is that it's not hard, all right, but it's not easy. And the reason we ask you to apply to WealthyU is 2 things, right? We want to make sure that you are in the right program that's going to help you accelerate faster. We also want to make sure that you're a winner. Now, what do I mean by a winner? What I mean by a winner is that you want it, that you have a desire. We're going to ask you to make an investment. And in order for you to make an investment, we have to be sure that you're going to do everything that you need to get a return on investment, because we know that it's possible. Listen, I tell this team, we literally can change your financial trajectory. To be able to have people go from 0 to 100, right? From -500 to 7 figures. Doubling, you've got ambassadors here who have doubled their investment portfolios in just a few years. Some have hit their, you've got members in here who've hit their first 6 figures, their first 7 figures, and some are going for 8. In order for you need to go to the next level, someone has to take you there. Now that's a fact, right? No one does anything of significance on their own. And how many of you feel like you've been out here in the wilderness, wandering on your own and wondering, I know there should be something else for me. I know that I should be further. Some of you've done everything that you were told to do. You've got the education, you're earning the money, you're trying to figure it out. Some of you have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on degrees and education, and yet you never learn the most valuable skill. And that's how to take those earnings, that income, and turn them into wealth. And that's what we're going to teach you in WealthyU. So here's what I need you to do. Some of you still need to level up to VIP. And that brings me to the fact, and you need to join the Facebook community. If you haven't joined the WealthyU Challenge community, you should. Because let me tell you, these WealthyU ambassadors, the reason why they are so motivated and they want to connect with you, because they know how their own lives have been impacted. They know that they waited on the sidelines, and many of them wish they had started 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Rhonda, you've been following me for 20 years, sis. If you would have just hung in there with me and went further with that book, there is no wonder what you could have achieved by right now. But what I want you to know is we're going to be looking at your applications. We're going to be connecting with you. And tomorrow we're going to I'm going to present to you WealthyU and what our programs are like so that you can. So I want you to get ready. I want you to prepare, right? I want you to really think about, listen, if I were to join this community of women and I am ready to make a commitment that I am a winner, that I want it, that I am responsible, and that there are no excuses. Because one of the things, if you want to go further faster, you got to show up, right? You got to lean in. You hear me leaning in. All I want you to know, no excuses for me. I don't care if I'm tired, if I'm sick, when I have to show up for strategic advisory, when I have to show up here every night, this whole team, we prepare for this for over a week before we even get started. You see all this technology, all of the things that we do so that we can present to you in a very cohesive and excellent way an opportunity and let you know it's not the money, it's the mission. If you desire to link hands with other women so that you can accelerate your financial growth, create generational wealth, gain the knowledge that you need to pass this on to your families, then I need to already know who's going to say yes. When we open these doors tomorrow, who has already put in their application and who's running through. If you're running through the door, tell me in the chat, I want you to already let me know I'm running through the doors because I'm taking names. I'm going to see. Listen, what doesn't challenge you won't change you. And you are going to be exposed in WealthyU to some ideas, to some concepts. You're going to connect with not only our own curriculum, but you're going to connect with other experts. You're going to get exposure to women who help women get into the C-suite, to learning how to golf and level up, learn how to leverage your opportunity on LinkedIn. You're also going to get inside access to all of the other opportunities that come my way. Who's ready? So I've applied. Who's running through? Okay, Gina says she's running through. Benidra says, open that door. I'm running through it. Alice says, I'm holding the door open for you, running through. Erica says, I've applied. Angela says, I'm going through the application. Portia, you already in the cut, girl. We got you. Michelle says, how do I sign up for VIP? Let's make sure. Michelle, if I'm not mistaken, you were in VIP this evening. I think you signed up today, knocking it off the hinges. All right, Felicia. But before we go, guess what? I know the team was like, did she forget? No, I said I'd do it at the end. Day 2, our winner of the A Purse of Your Own book. This is for our VIPs, and another wine glass is Aja Simpson. We got you. All right. So who's ready for day 4? We're going to be giving away some prizes tomorrow as well. And then on day 5, the reason why you want to get in the VIP now is that I'm giving away the whole kit and caboodle, right? And you know I'm going to throw something else in there. That's what I'm doing because that's what we do. Well, listen, I want to thank all of you for joining us for the 3rd day of the 5-day Get Wealthy Challenge. Has this been of value to you? That's what I want to know in the chat. Has the time that you invested these 3 days been of value to you? Let us know in the chat. Has it been of value to you? Because that's what I want you to know, is that we want to exceed your expectations, right? We want you to know that we don't take your time for granted. We know there are a lot of things that you could be doing right now, but you chose to to join this challenge. Many of you leveled up into VIP because you wanted to lean in and get more access. Here's what I want you to know. The most important thing of all is that your proximity will dictate your performance. And if you want to come and lock hands with us and accelerate your financial growth to 7 figures and beyond so that you can create generational wealth, then we want to invite you in. If you need a mentor, we're here for you. All right, that's going to do it for me this evening. I'll meet you right back here. VIP, 7:30, be in the house. We're going to be giving away some more prizes, doing some live coaching. And for those of you who want to be right here at 8 o'clock, we'll be here tomorrow. All right, guys, have a great evening.